Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Progress Report. We were on hiatus there. I was on vacation for the last couple weeks, but we're back now, coming back strong, or at least trying to. I'm joined by the lovely Lilly Gaddis, who many people will know as the N-word girl. Is that basically well?
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much sums it up.
yeah. For anybody who doesn't know, you said nigga in a TikTok video, and then you got fired from your job, and now you've transitioned into creating content.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't really realize, like, people were like, what did you think was going to happen? You don't realize how, like, things can go crazy because for every wild video out there, like, one is going to go nuts for some reason. So, yeah, very naive, very stupid. But you know what? It's freedom of speech. So they asked for it. They created a monster, and that's what they got.
Yes, yeah. You are kind of a monster. Like you're streaming with Handsome Truth and stuff like that. You really sped run. You did a real speed run of like libtard to based or what. I don't know if you're a libtard, but you know what I mean.
No, I was never liberal, thank God. I was always conservative, but I didn't realize like the JQ thing. That never crossed my like realm, I guess, just because like from where I'm at, I'm in the South. There's no Jews around here, so it wasn't a thing. But
All right,
there are
sweet.
now. Did I hear someone say Jews?
oh no,
Yeah. You know you're on the iHypocrite channel, and that's the first word you hear jumping into the
Dude,
stream.
I was trying to get in on your show on Christmas Day, so I would pop in and like check and see what was going on and wait for like a time to get on. And every time I came in the studio to come on, it was like 6 guys talking about white identity, and I'm like, I think this table's a little bit too rich for my blood. I'm gonna check in again later.
That's all right. I mean, yeah, we had a lot of people, anyways.
It was
but-
cool. I mean, it's a good Christmas. I like listening to it, but I was like, man, I don't want to say the wrong thing. This is like it feels like being in prison. Like I don't
Yeah,
wanna
yeah,
piss off
exactly.
The
We're
wrong
gonna-
guy and get bread. You know.
Gonna jump you,
you're
blood
walking
in,
around
blood out.
dynamite here. The slightest light could set it all ablaze.
Yeah, oh, it's too soon, Lily. I
Too
live in LA.
Oh
We're-
boy.
I'm in the middle of it got hellier here if you didn't know, if you think that was possible for LA.
Yeah, it's almost like God is trying to say something to all the heathens and the sodomites and the Satanists.
Yeah, I saw.
It took God 3 tries. He finally hit Hollywood. If you hit Malibu, that's pretty close, God. I'll take that one. You hit Altadena, that's a fuck up. A lot of good Mexicans live out there. Good Mexican Trump voters live out there, but he just hit the Hollywood Hills, which is now burning down. It's right where I used to live. It's bad, dude. If they lose that one, that's a lot of Hollywood's gonna go up.
Yeah, I
That's a
saw that picture
shame.
of the Hollywood sign like in flames. I was like, yes,
Mm.
yes. Finally, a natural disaster hits where it should.
Is that real? I saw Milo post that picture. I don't know.
I saw a couple other accounts posted. It may be fake. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, anyways, guys, I don't know if Alex is going to make it. I haven't talked to him today. Last time I talked to him was yesterday, and he said 75% chance. And then I just saw like an hour ago, he posted that he's in the middle of like a predator bust, like an hour
yeah.
ago. So I don't know if he's going to make it, but we got 2 great guests here either way. The reason I asked Lily to join last minute was because Dick messaged me and told me the power was out due to the wildfires. And so I asked Lily if she could take his place, and then Dick got his power back. So all's well that ends well.
I guess it worked out.
Let's get into the show here. What we do here is I got a bunch of video clips for us to watch. We're going to give our opinions if you have them. If you want to jump in at any point, just start talking and I'll pause the video. But don't feel like you have to have a take on every single thing.
Okay.
Starting with a little Young Turks to get us rolling here.
I think Kamala Harris will probably win in a cakewalk for governor.
No!
Okay.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling you the reality, whether you like it or not. Are you
What are you doing?
Democratic voters in California love to obey. And so
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm gonna move, Jank. I'm gonna quit my job.
I got you.
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
quit
telling you
my
the
job
reality.
and I'm
Is
gonna
he
move.
I'm not
Senile?
saying I'm in favor of it. I'm telling you what's like if the Democratic Party said we anoint Kamala Harris, a giant percentage of Democrats in California would go, yes, we obey. We will take the loyalty oath. It doesn't matter how bad she is.
This state cannot survive another incompetent Democrat leading it.
Leading it. Democrat like Kamala.
No, we just can't. Okay, like, anyway, so like people are egging her on. Okay, apparently she's like in a wait and see mode. How about you wait and see like your way out of public life and go do what you're supposed to do. Go work in the private sector, go do the lobbying thing, whatever it is, but do not run as governor of California.
Well, you're in California, Dick. What do you think about that? Kamala Harris for governor?
Was this shot in the last couple hours or days, or was this before? Because we will Chinatown your ass if you come in. If you come into California right now with this joy shit, looking like you're hot off the plane from Ghana, we will fucking Chinatown your ass, which is as close as I can get to Fed posting because I don't know where this is broadcasting.
Yeah, we are on
fuck
YouTube.
No, dude. That is a big fucking no. People in California are pissed right now. All of them. Even there's another group that likes following orders too. I think California's going to get into that territory before the next governor race is said and done. We're done with this shit. Chick's an idiot, man. He needs to start exercising or something. Seed oils.
You lost me a little bit. What do you mean another group who likes to follow orders?
Nazis.
Oh.
It's gonna get wild in California for next time because I mean there's a lot of red here, man. Trump had big rallies here. LA is very outspoken, but a lot of LA is going to be
a Republican,
homeless.
wasn't he?
What's that?
Wasn't Schwarzenegger a Republican governor?
Yeah, he was a shitty one, but he was a Republican.
Yeah.
We got a lot of land.
And then COVID happened, and he said, "Fuck your freedoms."
I was wondering how much Californians would take because I've been on a tangent of like looking at Zillow properties in California, and there's these huge like ranch spreads with tons of acreage, and they're like giving them away. So I was like, I guess they're taxing people out, but this is what you guys asked for with voting these retards.
Where are they giving away ranch properties in California? Visalia, California City?
I don't know. I just typed in California. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got a screenshot. I showed you.
Yeah.
Here's
Looking
one.
at houses is like our favorite pastime in California. Let's see where they're at.
This is 225,000.
Where's it at?
160 acres.
What's
2 bed, 2 bath. Plantina, California.
So California's got like a huge arid wasteland between we have an entire town that just stinks of cow shit and fertilizer called Fresno, and everyone's just cool with it. You can buy a real nice place out there. You can have a 100-car garage, but every hair on your head is going to stink like cow shit for the rest of your life.
So that explains it. It's the desert. Okay.
Yeah, we could use some help out here. Yeah, we could have a big push for Republican California, which would be devastating nationally for the Democrats. It's ready for it. It's a tinderbox out here, obviously.
All right, let's see what else we got here.
Yeah. Do not.
All right, guys, happy Monday from London. And it is a happy Monday indeed because I won. I didn't expect it. I played it cool, but it's recently now been announced that it is me. I am the anti-Semite of the year. Oh. Yeah.
Candace Owens won anti-Semite of the year. Shocking everybody. I mean, my money was on Dan Bilzerian. I thought it was easy, no real competition, but Candace shocked us all, stealing the title.
Is she the first African-American woman to have the title?
I'm not that familiar with the history of the anti-Semite of the year, but I think it's entirely possible that could be the case. A real trailblazer, if you will. Yeah.
Maybe they figured she's more dangerous because she's very level-headed, has probably a wider audience than Dan. Dan, they can write him off as crazy, like Kanye West, whereas it's harder to write her off as like insane just because she's very level-headed. She's got a normal show, normal audience. Maybe that's why they thought she was more of a threat. I don't know.
You're right.
My
She
money was
does
on
have
Dan.
a really big platform. She gets a lot of views and a lot of viewers. Yeah, so that probably did factor into it.
What put her over the top? Was it the USS Liberty thing?
Didn't she?
I think she put that out after she won.
Oh,
She had
like a victory
something
lap.
that was like, no, that was before she won for sure. But she had
that's
something
okay.
that was like really kind of crazy. Like she was talking about like the drinking blood, I think, of the, like drinking children's blood and shit like that. And she's talking about Leo Frank. She kind of hit all the greatest hits, honestly, in a short amount of time. So
What does
you know,
she win?
you gotta respect
Like
the
no
game.
mortgage rates for the year, or what's her prize?
Yeah, yeah,
Does she get a Jewish mom,
double
like a
interest
surrogate Jewish mom to call her up and tell her she's disappointed?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that next time. If I ever want to buy a house, I'm buying me a Star of David necklace, and I'm learning that code word or whatever. I gotta figure out. I gotta find a Jew to tell me what that code word is, so I can get a no interest loan.
Yeah, yeah. You guys know Audio Slave, the band? They're like
that's like a throwback, man.
Yeah, Dick, you know Audio Slave.
Yeah.
They replaced it was Chris Cornell, wasn't it? Or am I thinking of the wrong? Hold on. Who's the
Is it Soundgarden? Was it Soundgarden?
I gotta look it up now.
Audio Slave.
It was Chris Cornell.
Yeah,
okay, I'm right. So I think he was in Soundgarden too, and then Audio Slave came after. Grunge and alt wasn't really my scene, so I'm not an expert. But yeah, he's dead. You know, he died in 2017, and they replaced him with this black lady who's the lead singer now of Audio Slave. And so this is a video of the new and improved Audio Slave.
Oh my god!
It's when you get
You
a
can
little
hear
too...
her right before she jumped go, hey.
The only thing they should have added was a chirp, a fire alarm chirp, and then that would have been perfect.
Dude, she looks like that fat black lady that's standing beside the podium, the easel that says like white race. I don't know, white people the devil. You know the one I'm talking about.
Right? Yeah. Ashley Shackelford or something like that, and then the PayPal address right below.
Yeah. She just took a backwards dive off of the stage.
Yeah, music's a hell of a drug, man. You got to be careful. Sometimes you get a little too in the moment. You forget you're about 80 pounds overweight.
The outfit was terrible too. It didn't look very it didn't match the scene at all. She looked like she was about to go to Dunkin' Donuts or something.
Well, nobody wanted to touch her hair. That was it. You know, they're always on people about their precious hair. So all these white people saw black hair coming out. They're like, I can't touch it. I can't touch it. That's racist.
Oh, shit.
Ball player or anything else, you should be hired on your qualifications, not your genitals or sexual orientation or skin color.
Yeah.
That's actually America. So
question?
you can keep trying here.
Yeah, finish your point, and then I'll go to Dave Smith.
Listen, yes. When this country desperately needs to unite against the establishment on things we all agree on. So things like all the populists hate corruption. All the populists hate war. By the way, Dave doesn't. Dave will demand that we start every war for Israel and pay for all of Israel's war. So he's been establishment on that all along. But when you go to say, hey, can we get an agreement on things that we agree on? The left pushes back because they're so afraid. They got traumatized by the Dave Rubins in the world. They're like, oh, if you take one step, not even in their direction, if you allow the right wing to take a step in our direction, they're worried that you're going to be a fraud like Dave Rubin and change all of your positions overnight. So my friends on the left, do not get scarred by this fraud of a man.
The sentiment that America...
Do you guys know that meme? That I think it's from The Onion originally, but it's like it goes like heartbreaking. The worst person you know just made a good point, or whatever. There's like a variation of that meme that I saw that I think of when I watch that clip. It says heartwarming. The two worst people you know are fighting, and that's how I feel when I see Cenk and Dave Rubin giving each other a hard time.
I can't even hear Ruben because I'm just thinking like, well, yeah, but I mean, you bought like a baby. Like,
Right.
What are you saying? Who
That
cares?
really is the elephant in the room with that guy, isn't it?
Like, this should be a Jerry Springer episode. These two queers bought a baby. Isn't that nuts? And you're like, yeah. So what is he talking about? Middle Eastern policy? No, that's not what I want to hear from this guy.
Yeah, I think with
Problem
Dave.
when you let gays into the community, you get a myriad of problems. It's like, maybe let's just, not do that.
Little gatekeeping, yeah, back in the closet.
Yeah.
They're at,
the fucking closet.
I was gonna say the day Dave Rubin posted that ultrasound photo tweet, that was like the day conservatism died. Really.
Yeah. Dude, I found myself like I'm a really liberal conservative. Like I don't even know if I'm conservative sometimes. I mean, I know. Everyone's pissed at me every once in a while for saying something just totally off the reservation. But I was immediately I hate that baby buying shit. Immediately horrified by it. I hate when gays, straights, whatever. It has a mother, for God's sake. And there's plenty of other kids to just adopt if you don't want to. You don't have to make one. I was shocked at the confusion in the eyes of conservatives at what was happening there. Like,
well, I mean, it wasn't even. Yeah, it's not even that they were confused. They were just like, "Oh, congratulations! So happy for you!" And I think for a lot of people, they're like, "Holy shit! These people just care about being in the money-making club or whatever." You know what I mean? They just care about being part of that network, and there's not really a lot of principle involved. Anyway, I'm sure you guys probably already saw.
At whatever cost. Like, even, I mean, people love Scott Pressler and like that's cool and whatever, but it's like, really, is that really conservatism? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm sure you guys have seen the Sam Hyde video with the Elon Musk stuff, but I did want to include a couple little clips of that this week too.
Americans aren't good enough. That's one of the darker things that has happened here. I know that Vivek Ramaswamy does believe it to be the case, and for him, this Twitter bomb was a mask-off moment in a way that I hope it wasn't for you. But that sentiment and the Twitter deboosting, algorithm change, blanket ban, all that stuff, those are the darker things in the sense of not good for humanity, not good for the future. Running Twitter the same way your enemies did before you bought it from them. Is that what you wanted when you bought this thing? Is that the let it sink in moment? Is that what you envisioned for the global meeting grounds? And we're not talking about just making the 10% of people on the left and the 10% of people on the right mad. The middle is the Overton window. You're just talking about satisfying the Overton window. This is censorship. You're engaging in censorship pretty much right off the rip here.
What is the...
It's a real screech move, what he's doing.
Sam?
Elon, bringing the censorship back, getting in over his head, letting the monster run him with all this. As soon as you start equivocating, like what is or isn't free speech, you've abandoned the principle completely. Like the principle is trying to push for more and more personal expression, faster communication among people, and less and less control. As soon as you start backing yourself into the corner of like, well, actually, shouting fire in a crowded theater is dangerous, and it means freedom of speech, not reach. As soon as you start with that shit, you have become the bad guy. Like that's the end of it. It's either one way or the other. It's not like a status quo maintenance. Like,
well, Elon was like never on our side, though. That's the thing. I don't really know why people are surprised. Like, he's very new world order, wants to put chips in people's brains, and then we're surprised that he's not conservative or whatever. And we're just like so desperate to have a celebrity or whatever that we're like, oh sure, come on, be in politics, even though you're not from here. Like, that's going to be great for America, when the number one reason we voted for Trump was because we wanted these illegals out and everybody out. We wanted the border sealed. So I think the fact we have Vivek, a brown person, and then we have Elon, who's not even from here, in charge of that, it's like, yeah, you kind of got what you asked for.
Did you think they would wait a little bit before rolling out the H-1B slaves, like at least until Trump got elected, or I don't know, at least next Christmas? Like, was it a surprise to either of you that they decided to hammer Christmas Day that they need their brown slaves?
It was very surprising. Because I'm not on Twitter that much, at least compared to normal. And you open it up like after presents, like I wonder what Twitter's talking about, and it's like, oh, Indian immigration, and people are like really mad. Yeah, it was a little surreal.
Dude, all the anti-Semites, all the anti-Mex, all the racists got to team up against one foe that the Indians had no defense for this. Like, you see, even the like born in America Indians are like, I've never felt racism like this. I need to delete my account. I don't know what to do. It was really fun. They were like those tribes in the North Sentinel Island that had never seen this virus before.
I am surprised they pulled the rug this quick, though. I thought they'd at least have the decency to wait, a little bit after the election.
I honestly don't think he knew what he was stepping in. Like, I honestly think he just thought that we would all be like, yeah, Team America, fuck yeah, we're going to beat China, and he was like genuinely surprised. I'm like, oh, people actually really care. It turns out the MAGA base actually really cares about this whole immigration thing, and they take it pretty seriously. Yeah.
Yeah. It turns out it is jobs. Oh, wow. I had no idea. Yeah. Sorry, Lily. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, he probably does think we're in a cult, and like whatever they say, whatever Elon says, whatever Trump says, we'll just be like, yeah, fine, take us to slaughter. Yes, we'd love that because we're gonna follow you blindly. I guess he thought that and was a little bit surprised when we're actually like, no, we're gonna critique our leaders regardless of who they are. I don't know, maybe
like,
that.
Elon and Vivek, like they communicate in this language of memes and pop culture references, and they never reference their family in a way, which is a contrast to like all of us, like me and millions of Americans have memories of our friends and fathers getting replaced by H-1B slaves and training their replacements, and getting like slowly eroded and mocked with this idea of being replaced by foreigners. And they just can't understand that language in the way that Trump and all of us can, just speaking with one another about H-1Bs online. It's shocking to see, like, without Wario and Doge posting, they can't communicate with the internet at all.
Right. Well, because they're not from here. Of course they don't understand the culture. They're not from here. They're barely from Earth, yes.
By the way, a quick announcement for the chat here. I do see a couple super chats going by. I'll read those at the end of the show, or you can do a text-to-speech interruption if you want, but the minimum is $10 for the text-to-speech. Wow. Yeah, we keep it highbrow around here.
Yeah.
Classy.
Dirtiest country in the world.
India?
It's not India. That's a good guess, though. Give me one more guess.
It's definitely India.
You know what? I've seen like 2 clips of that guy where it's the same thing, where he asks them the country and they say India, and he's like, no, it's not that. But I never get to hear what is actually the dirtiest country. I'm a little bit curious. Like, what could possibly be worse?
Propaganda.
Oh shit.
Empowerment. Sick. I like it too. I think what I like about it is that I am having a very strongly negative reaction to it. Like I hate it. Which makes me think it must be brilliant. Got this feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling.
It's like a perfect representation of our government. Blacks, women, and queers.
Damn, Lily. Yeah, Yeah, so that's a Supreme Court Justice, of course, Ketanji Jackson Brown or whatever her name is.
Yeah.
And what can you even say about that? I mean, hey, man, I'm not against people having hobbies, and that it's just when you juxtapose the seriousness of a Supreme Court justice with the sort of childishness of whatever that was, it's a little bit jarring, is all I'm saying.
Disturbing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Very.
It's disturbing that she would allow herself to be used in such a way to promote. What was the play?
I could not tell you.
I think it was Romeo and Juliet, but it was like a
Hood Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, well, that too. Worse, blacks and queers. It was
a gay hood Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Julio.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Oh shit.
This feeling in my body. Can't stop the feeling.
Yeah, man, ride me a Tubbs. She's gonna be in Pokemon Go too.
Never crashed my train.
Are you a Civ fan,
Not
Dick?
many can say the same.
Born Araminta Ross to enslaved parents in Maryland, Harriet Tubman escaped from slavery and dedicated her life to saving countless others via the Underground Railroad.
Countless,
Facing
come on.
difficult odds, Tubman quickly moved enslaved peoples through a network of safe houses and across treacherous terrain to reach freedom. Harriet Tubman excels at operating in secret, which makes her an excellent spy master.
That's the not touching the hair bonus. 50%. Man, I want Nat Turner's Punch Out. Let's get all of them in there, you know? MLK, the MLK brothers, the super MLK brothers.
You know what? Screw the Holocaust. I don't think Harriet Tubman happened. I don't believe it. I don't think she brought people in the Underground Railroad. I don't believe it. It's propaganda.
I've been wondering about that myself. There's so many of these things like Anne Frank, Helen Keller. You grow up being told these things, and then you start to learn like, oh, maybe they're like massively exaggerated.
Right.
Even like Rosa Parks was a lot. There's a lot more to that story than what you're told.
It's like they shove it down your throat so much, and then you're like, okay, wait a minute, is this even true?
Yeah,
Probably
yeah,
not.
no, she started the Underground Railroad and freed countless slaves. We're reaching levels of pandering. I like
She's like the Noid of
Civilization. I love that game.
Yeah.
But I think they've always been kind of self-conscious about how there's not that many great black leaders of black nations. So, right, because they have all these different civilizations you can play, and they come with their own leaders. And so this is kind of like where they're scraping who can we get to be a black leader? And they're like, Harriet Tubman of America. Why not?
Why don't they put Obama in there?
Yeah, that would be better, honestly.
That'd be better. Yeah.
That would be less ridiculous.
So now I'm going to bring up something that's going to offend a lot of people. I have a friend. His name is Mari. Mari is Jewish. He's a successful Jewish banker. He lives in New York. And I've known Mari for over a decade. We've done business together. Good guy, respectable guy. He revealed to me, and I did the diligence on it, and this was one of the most shocking things that I ever realized in the world of business. And I have had moments in which I have actually considered bringing on a Semite into my team so I can take advantage of this financial opportunity. The financial opportunity is this. If you are a Semite, you can get zero interest loans at banks anywhere in America. You just have to tell them. They will go to the back. They will show you, they will bring out a folder, a PDF of how you, as a Semite, can get a loan for your house, a car, extraneous things that you need, a boat, a business, for zero interest.
Really?
Look it up.
Did you look it up?
I love how he's like, yeah, I've thought about bringing on a Semite. And you were joking about that earlier, Lily, about the whole zero interest loan things. I think that that is a thing, but he's exaggerating the scope and the scale of it. I don't think it's literally any bank that, you know, you just have like a secret code word, or you just say I'm Jewish. But there are, though, Jewish organizations that will grant zero interest loans to Jewish people. And
Right.
It's curious how they even get away with that with all the civil rights laws, all that discrimination laws.
Well, I think they do disclose it on their website. People just don't know where to look for it. At least they had said, because I watched that whole podcast, and he looked it up like on a bank, and it's just like it's like fine print. Like you would never look there. So I guess they get around that by being like, well, we it's advertised here or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, if they do it like they do in Islamic law, they have the same thing. They can't charge you interest, so they just set up a payment structure that almost exactly resembles interest rates. They probably do something like that.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I've heard that it's like you're still basically paying off the loan with interest, but it's just like they just kind of rearrange. I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical about that being like a real thing.
Yeah, the one thing that Jews aren't going to give each other for free is money. Let's remember who we're talking about.
Yeah,
Let's not go crazy.
I think when it comes to like usury or just interest, I think that we have like a problem with that when you've got people getting these 30% interest loans for cars and shit like that. But I'm not sure that the correct answer is to just like outlaw interest. There's probably like a happy medium where
we didn't used to have mortgages for houses. I think that the existence of these mortgages, and the further out they go, like 15, 30, 50 years probably before we're dead, only profits the bank. Like if it wasn't for these stupid mortgages that the government will bail out, then houses would just drop off to where they were forever ago, you know?
Interesting.
Yeah, you'll say like, well, we don't need mortgages, and people will say, well, how's the bank going to make money? I'm like, yeah, I know. It's not really my problem.
Yeah.
That's not the purpose of a house.
No. Get him.
And you know what he said next, right?
I can't breathe.
Yeah, no, he said, "Do you really think that's air you're breathing, George?"
Oh.
I don't know if you're a Matrix nerd, Lily, but that's a line from these.
I actually watched it in my
You've
life.
never seen The Matrix?
No.
You millennials.
I know.
No culture.
I'm failing at life.
Okay, what else?
Watch it with a special man that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Because you'll only get one time where you can ask what is happening. A woman only gets once where she can ask a man what's happening in the Matrix. So make sure
that's my favorite way to watch a movie. I like to go like do errands and chores and stuff, and then show back up mid-movie and be like, okay, tell me what's going on. What happened?
Yeah. The Matrix is, even if you're giving it your full attention, that will be.
Yeah, he'll pause and give you a 20-minute lecture on every scene. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
This was, of course, the Cybertruck that exploded outside of Trump Tower. Story, as far as I know, the guy was on his second divorce, and it was a suicide. Not really much to it. But, of course, the conspiracy theorists have gone wild. I don't know if you have any hot takes, Lily, on this one.
Okay, so the facts that I've heard right now is that the DNA tested from the body does not match the newborn son. So people are either trying to say, well, that wasn't the guy, and they're just using this guy as a patsy, the one who was dead in the car, or that, he just went off the rails because the kid was not his. I don't see like a Green Beret just going off the rails, going to this elaborate way to kill himself. Like, sorry, you can shoot yourself, renting a Cybertruck and blowing it up without the intention of hurting somebody. So I don't know. It seems really weird to me though. But he also sent, did you watch the podcast with, what's his name? I can't remember now, something, he's got a huge podcast. Anyway, he had sent an email to one of the guys that were on that podcast, and it was basically talking about the drones and that he was going to be a whistleblower. Yeah.
I did.
He was going to be a whistleblower and all this. But the email looked very suspect because it looked like it was being typed rather than received. And then the FBI just came out today and they confirmed that it was a real email. So who knows what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not a real email, right? If the FBI confirms it, that means it's
yeah, I know. No, it's
not.
Yeah, or they know we're gonna think that, and that's why they did it.
In terms of like, I said this on my show already, but like a guy who is actually committing suicide because he's getting divorced is in a really bad place, obviously. And I think the reason a lot of guys do it, a lot of people do that is to hurt people, right? They're like, oh, I'll show you, you'll be sorry, you'll feel really bad, when I do this to myself.
Right.
And so one possible explanation for why would you make such a spectacle out of it would be just to draw attention to it, knowing that it would drag those people into the public eye, even if briefly, and maybe make it hurt more. That's one theory. I don't know, but it could be, people say like, oh, well, no, this is a distraction so they can set the narrative and psyop you. And I'm just like, okay, but how does that work? Like, what am I being distracted from? If only this guy didn't blow up the Cybertruck, I would know, but I'm too distracted.
Right. Who knows? We got to have more information come out.
I wish guys would understand how gratifying this is to the woman that you were arguing with, too. Is that she's going to think for the rest of her life, man, that guy loved me so much. He exploded himself.
Total backfire.
Yeah, man, we don't want to deal with this bitch. You did this to us, and then you just peaced out. That's not cool. It's not very army of you.
Hey, why isn't China importing Infinity Indians right now?
Oh, this is my favorite part of his video.
Now, if it's such a huge economic advantage, why isn't China doing it? We need to do a naval blockade of China to make sure they don't get any of these amazing Indians. Every Indian that makes his way into China is a threat because China will use their genius to get one over on us. That's the biggest threat this country's facing, right? I think we need to go nuclear. I think we need to say, if China imports enough Indians, it's like diamonds. It's like nanotechnology. Indians are like nanotechnology. We have to be willing to use nuclear weapons to keep China from getting these precious Indians. That's step one. Sounds retarded, right? Because it is. It's retarded. It's subtarded. Ever hear of a subtard?
I mean, he nailed it there, right? He nailed, if they're so great, why aren't they China importing them? If the whole issue is we need to keep up with China, then why don't we just mirror China's policies and import the exact same number of Indians that they are, which as far as I know is roughly zero.
Well, and their argument's so stupid. They want to like cast it off on the people because, oh, we're getting the best and the brightest. But no, we're importing like dishwashers and people, line cooks and stuff like that. It's not like we're even getting the best. Like the best and the brightest is here, not over there.
Yeah, I was talking to Mark Collette this morning, and he said something that I thought was interesting. Like we were talking about the grooming gang stuff because that's been a big topic.
Yeah.
And he was explaining to me how these Pakistani Muslim immigrants in the UK, they were all brought over in the 80s to work in factories because they would work cheaper and longer hours and they would want less rights and all that kind of stuff. So these businessmen brought them over. And Mark said, and by doing that, they kind of like destroyed the working class. And then what you see with this H-1B thing is an attempt to destroy the middle class, because a lot of these guys who come in, they're not all 7-Eleven clerks. A lot of them are actually like middle managers and intermediate, like developers, where they are making like $80K a year, but for doing a job that an American would want $120K a year to do.
Right.
So I thought that
Well,
was
and it's crazy that we're bedfellows now with Bernie Sanders, who was saying the same thing like 10 years ago about the H-1B visas. He was like, it's going to decimate the middle class, and it's only lining the pockets of the elites. And now I'm like, damn, Bernie Sanders is kind of making sense right now.
Bernie's the man.
Yeah.
Bernie and Trump was all we had. Fuck Bernie because of the communism stuff, but if we don't have Trump, then it's Bernie.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, the DNC really did him. They did him dirty, old Bernie.
Vivek didn't even address the Mexicans in his Christmas Day post. Do you remember fucking Scrooge McDuck? Bob Cratchit can go fuck off, and his kids, Tiny Tim, doesn't deserve to eat because of his culture, because of the mouse culture. We, Scrooge McDuck Indians, are counting money until the wee hours of the right. Brr, brr. Did he fucking see that movie? Did that movie die in 1989 before that fucking idiot was born? Because I saw that shit. I saw a lot of shit in the 80s that I also watched get fucking destroyed by bankers in Silicon Valley for the last 40 years, 30 years of my life. And it's filled me with homicidal rage, of which there is no cure or tempering, that I will carry until I'm fucking dead. And I didn't appreciate getting called stupid and lazy on fucking Christmas!
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's a horrible Christmas present.
Here we go.
All right, guys, we got Alex Rosen, who is apparently driving in his car, hot off another predator poach.
Pedo hunting, man.
Are we on YouTube right now?
We are.
I was not pedo hunting, I promise.
yeah, YouTube, you put it like that.
Yeah, what's up, y'all?
Good. What's up, my man?
Hey. Oh my God, I'm like in the middle of nowhere in Virginia right now. I don't know how long I'm gonna have signal for, but we just caught this guy. Well, I just caught this guy by myself, but in Bedford, Virginia, he was a sex offender trying to invite a 14-year-old girl to his house, and I showed up instead. It was so fun.
Oh, wow. The opposite.
I know.
How far away
Yeah.
are you when they can tell that they're that you're not a 14-year-old girl?
Well, God, I mean, he came up to my car because he thought she was Ubering over, and then he sees me like walk out, and he's like, dude, he was like a total freaking YouTube. I'm saying this very articulately. He was a total wigger, and he was like, "Hey man, you like delivering food and shit?" And I'm like, yeah. And then I like go up to him like, "Hey Sean, we gotta have a talk about this." Then he lets me inside, and bro, he is just like a caricature of just like somebody who's listened to way too much fucking Limp Bizkit or fucking rap music or whatever. And the whole time he was like, "Yeah, man, look, they be coming on to me." And he's like, "Yeah, I was going to fuck her, so what?" And like, oh, it was great. It was great. So all of his devices are seized, and he's going to get arrested, I think, very, very soon. So
Nice.
Wow.
Doing
Yeah,
good
yeah.
work, man. I salute you.
Appreciate it. What are we reacting to right now?
Have you ever thought
we
putting
were
a dummy of a 14-year-old girl in the back of your car so you can pretend it's an Uber?
No,
Get like
not
a
in this
gotcha?
car.
No.
I mean, we have like some live decoys that are with us sometimes. Like we have 3 of them, but none are here today.
Do you find that a lot of the dudes you catch are like pretty low IQ?
It varies, but yeah, definitely a good portion of them are low IQ. But I think it reflects the populace pretty well. I mean, the guy I was in court for earlier today, I mean, he was definitely either an above average or high IQ guy. But this sex offender today was fucking an idiot.
Have you ever been worried that you'll find like your Moriarty sex offender who will like, vow revenge and work to get after you after he's incarcerated?
Well, I mean, the advantage that I have is like we do this across the country, and if I'm in Houston and these sex offenders like need gas money to get to the next town over, I mean, it's probably all right. But yeah, I mean, that's always like a worry. I mean, this one guy, I mean, he's doing 35 years in prison, Jeffrey Wanager. He didn't get arrested until like 3 months after we caught him because he admitted that he molested his stepdaughter to us. So, they had to investigate that, look into it, and talk to her and all that stuff. But, he had called me on the phone because I was using my real phone number to text him, like as the kid. And we're on YouTube, so I can't say exactly what he said, but he referred to me as a word that me and Lilly use all the time. And he said he was going to kill me. So that was nice, but he got arrested like not too long after that.
Does it start with no, you know what? I won't even...
The end.
There was another predator hunter guy who got shot, wasn't there? You must know about that. That was like a year or two ago.
Yeah, but they way to where they're like going up and they just start kind of beating their ass and shit. And I wish I could do that, but I mean, if you do it like that, those people don't go to jail. And
right.
I'm facing a fucking Class A misdemeanor in Virginia right now for a fucking reckless driving, which is bullshit. But I'd rather get slapped 3 times and get beat up than face a fucking misdemeanor charge. So I mean, if I'm a child rapist, I want my ass beat and just let go. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, so if you beat them up, they let them go?
Oh, absolutely, because it taints the evidence, and they don't. The prosecutor doesn't want to prosecute it because their defense attorney is going to bring up, well, why aren't you charging them for crimes? So it's a whole shit show when you beat them up, and then obviously, if these pedos like anything the pedo says when they're like under duress, it can't be used in court, and say these pedos like are molesting their stepdaughter or something like that. They're not going to admit to that if they're getting beat up, and if they do, I mean, it's going to get thrown out. So. Yeah, we try to do it in the most calm way as possible so they can get fucked later rather than now.
Right. That sucks. At least like back in the 80s, cops would tune the guy up on the way to the jail or whatever, but now there's no justice.
No, not pretty much. But I mean, I guess some years in jail is better than nothing. So that's just how we have to look at it, at least as of now. But we're going to be meeting with I'm actually meeting with the South Carolina Attorney General on the 17th because, the law in South Carolina kind of sucks and none of our guys have been arrested there. So I basically went on Twitter and said he's like pro-child rape, and he agreed to have a meeting with me. So it's working out pretty well. Yeah, dude, he's like some slick talking, I'm a God-fearing Christian, but he probably cheats on his wife and is probably like a devil worshiper. He's like one of those, but it's like, all right. I mean, if he's willing to at least look into something, might as well just give it a try.
Yeah.
Word.
But
now, are you worried about the pedophiles having any kind of like an arms race online where they're using AI or something to screen out detectives? To maybe make it safer for them to prey on children? Have you ever thought about that?
They already, I mean, they haven't done anything like that yet, and I don't think that's in the near future because, dude, I mean, a lot of these pedos, like you said, are stupid. I mean, the guy today was a sex offender, Sean Overstreet, using his real name on Facebook and talking to kids. So it's not like he's going to use AI like tomorrow or anything like that, but yeah, there's definitely some smart ones that we talk to that are like projects. I mean, we like the ones we've been getting on Blue Sky. Those are more of the higher IQ ones. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
The higher IQ pedos are on Blue Sky. That's interesting.
Absolutely. Like,
okay.
I don't think any. No. Maybe one of the Blue Sky pedos actually gave his real fucking name. The other ones, it's always some alias. It's always like maybe a middle name. And we have to use other ways to find them, but they're not stupid. And the ones on Blue Sky are likely actual abusers. I'm not saying on Facebook they're not, but on some of these like dating apps and shit, you're gonna find some fuckers who are just like horny that day. They haven't actually touched a kid, but man, the ones on Blue Sky, those are like bona fide fucking pedophiles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I read this.
I imagine they're kind of low IQ because I like 10 years ago, I was on a dating site. It was like OkCupid or Plenty of Fish or something. And I got this message. It was like, hey, I really want to have sex with you, but I'm 14. Is that okay? And I was like, this is the most obvious like bait I've ever seen. And I wrote the guy back and I was like, hey man, I love what you're doing. Keep up the good work, but you might need to, you might need to work on your technique a little bit because it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, that is very obvious. We're never that forward with the people. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that guy's deal was, but yeah, dude, like I think personally that I think, I'm not saying that I'd ever be a child predator, but I think I'd be a pretty good one by default because most of them are so stupid.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to get at as well.
Like, you had to switch sides.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, I would definitely start with like, not using my real name, but I mean, I don't know. That might be too hard for some people. I have no fucking idea. But yeah, I'm not going to give a step-by-step guide on how I do it, but I'm just saying I would be pretty good at it,
Well, I mean,
it makes me so mad when criminals are bad criminals. Like, at least do a good job.
Right.
Do it the right way.
Not that I want to give them ideas.
They're retarded.
Like, even just like asking for a FaceTime before you go straight to meeting up. I mean, that's kind of like if you're meeting people online, legal consenting adults, you're still going to be concerned about getting catfished.
Dude, exactly. Even 19-year-old me at the time. Oh God, dude, I genuinely hate fucking dating apps. But I was on them at one point, and when I was like 19, and I was in that phase of life. But this, I matched with this lady, and her whole, she was like, oh, I'm like separated from my husband, and like, I'm alone and stuff. But then I get to her house and I see 2 cars in the driveway. I'm like, even 19-year-old me was questioning, why are there 2 cars in the driveway? And she's like, oh, well, my dad leaves that there because, to make it seem like there's somebody there so people don't break in. I'm like, all right. And I like FaceTimed her and all that shit. I mean, that was 19-year-old me meeting up with like an adult. So like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had more wisdom at the time.
I was thinking about starting a show where I catch women who are fatter than they are pretending to be.
Oh shit!
And then
the hero we need.
And then I say, I get it. It's all set. It's recorded with like fisheye lenses, and I get them in, and I say, "Why don't you have a seat?" And then the stool is like one of those joke stools that just breaks every time. Right?
Dude, yeah.
It's like a Japanese game show, also, where they can't get out of the house because they just keep falling through stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not allowed on YouTube, so I can't do fun stuff like that.
God damn, dude, that would be great. I mean, but that would be like pretty much every female that takes a picture of just their cleavage on up. They probably weigh just as much as I do. So, like,
Yeah.
Yeah, we call that there's a chick in high school that would do that. And obviously, like, we all saw what she looked like, but her Instagram looked like something I would slide into. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so now we just refer to every single person that does that as like Sonia, because that was her name in high school. So we just call it Sonia. Like her thing. We have like a term for that.
Anyway, I don't know how good your internet is there, Alex, but we were watching a few clips here, and I got a few more to go through. If you guys want to try, let's see what else here we got on the docket.
Help! I'm bored at work. Somebody help, seriously. Now, some of you are probably like, you're bored at work? It's work. It's supposed to be boring. Not my job, okay? I work at a nonprofit with my boss and one other person, and normally I'm inside, and it's freezing out here, but I'm inside playing games, improv games. But today, because our entrance inside is blocked by a Christmas tree, one of us has to be outside at all times to direct people to the back to go in. Well, guess who has that job right now? Me, and I'm freezing and bored as hell. I am so bored. Somebody save me. I really do like my job, though, I'll be honest. I love my job.
Her job was the Great Pumpkin.
You know what drives me crazy about that clip is the fact that she's like, she works for the government and her job is playing improv games all day or standing outside to tell people they need to use the back door. It's like, what? The economy is so fake and gay, man. Trump needs to fix everything. He needs to get rid of income tax, bring in all the tariffs to do the budget, and then axe all these like useless jobs that people are doing that are glorified welfare, basically.
Right. We have so many people that are like, that's just worthless jobs. They're just standing around. Even when you go to vote, there's like 1 million people there. They're not doing anything. It's like, what are we paying you for? You just, my tax dollars are just paying for you to hang out and bitch at me about not standing in line straight enough.
Oh yeah, my favorites, like in Oregon and New Jersey, those are the only 2 states in the country where you have people pumping your gas for you. I call them gas station NPCs. And it's like the unemployment rate, whatever it is in Oregon and New Jersey, realistically, it should probably be like 5% higher, but like they lower it by just employing by making it a law to where they have to pump your gas. Like it's like $1,000 fine if you don't have some guy pump your gas. And usually they're black. So I don't want to give some black guy my fucking credit card to go pump my gas. You know what I'm saying? So it's very aggravating. I agree.
At first I was going to say, I don't know, that sounds kind of like luxury, kind of Gucci, having somebody pump your gas for you. But then you brought up the black thing, and I thought, oh, okay.
Yeah, like I don't want to hand one my credit card, like.
Give me like a 16-year-old white kid,
Even the blacks who are employed to have bad jobs.
Right.
So you got to end illegal immigration. Then you got to lower legal immigration. You got to stop pretending that we're growing our economy. And you have to admit our economy is not growing, and importing more and more people isn't going to help. And then you have to make sure that the people who are here are encouraged by every means necessary to become British in every way, and to integrate into our society and to buy into the values of the UK, to buy into all the things that we believe about freedom of expression, about the treatment of women, about the treatment of sexual minorities, about all sorts of other things on which we agree. We agree that we should not have blasphemy laws in this country, as a Labour MP demanded in Parliament the other day. If that's what you want, you're not fucking British. You're not British if you want blasphemy laws. That's not what we do here.
They have blasphemy laws already, but it's not for Muhammad or whatever. It's for race. They have like some of the harshest hate speech laws. Some of the most insane cases of people being in jail because of memes they posted on Facebook and stuff like that. How can you claim that free speech is a British value when you're putting people in jail for saying it's okay to be white, or like they did to that Sam Malay, whatever, I forget his name, that guy who was in jail. He got out at Christmas, but Molina, I think, Sam Molina. I forget what his worst sticker was, but it was something like, it was like reduce immigration or something like that. And he made these stickers to distribute, and they put him in jail for like 2 years. You don't have free speech in the UK.
It's crazy to hear him unwind his own premise on immigration in the same thought. Like he says, let's get rid of all immigration and just focus on what makes people British. And then he immediately names like a number of things that are highly contentious that the people that are on the losing side of will say, okay, I need immigrants to bolster my side. Like, oh, I'm going to lose the free speech argument, or I'm going to lose like the whatever argument that you're on. Okay, I need a bunch of immigrants who agree with me on this one position to come in here so we can, and they can be British, and then we can outvote you. It's like, yeah, that's how we ended up in this problem from the very beginning. Yeah, we need more Irish in here to vote for me. Yeah, let's go. Bring them in.
Right, and not just that, but... Sorry, go ahead, Alex.
It's like when TPUSA and all these like cuck-servative, just MAGA fags are just like, well, Democrats, letting in all these Mexicans is actually going to backfire because they're all conservative.
Yeah.
And it's the same type of thing. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, the thing too, you hear this all the time. It's like, oh, well, as long as they like, I don't care what race, as long as they have the right values, as long as they're as they have these British values, and it's like you can't vet for these things. You can't. There's no way to like test somebody's values that is reliable, and you see some of these terror attacks that there was a car ramming in Germany over Christmas at a Christmas market, and there was a similar one in New Orleans, and they were both kind of eerily similar, where it was like one guy was a doctor and the other guy was like had an army intelligence guy or whatever, the American dude. These are like middle class, upper middle class, high IQ, high skilled legal immigrants who did that. So it's like the whole like, well, I just care about your values thing. It's really meaningless.
Right, and they act like people were dying in the streets before like 1965. Like they act like there was no food on the table, there were no homes being built, there were no roofs or anything like that before just illegals came in or legal immigrants, whatever. Before massive immigration, there was just nothing ever. Like America was a desolate wasteland, and then a bunch of poopy skins came in to just save us. It's so dumb how they just say that shit.
Well, and even if they do share our values, it's like, so what? Like, they're still changing the culture. They still don't get it. They still come from a country where it's like normal to step over dead bodies and shit in the street. You know, even if they do vote right, they're changing the culture and diluting our culture. So that's what I'm mostly concerned about, aside from the crime. Obviously, I don't want my culture being changed to where it's like normal to have all of that, like third world influence on our culture.
Well, Vivek is from a caste society, race, culture, whatever you want. Vivek has the caste system built into his DNA.
Exactly.
It's why India the way it is. And on Christmas Day, he comes out with his own caste system, which is Stephen Urkel at the top, then Stefan Urkel, and then Screech, then Cody from Boy Meets World, and Zach Morris. Like that, the Zach Morrises are the untouchables. Like that's not America, bro. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your wedding vows are or like what you say your values are. It's who you are on Christmas Day while your wife is watching Friends reruns and you're angrily seething on Twitter. Like, that's who you are.
Yeah.
In the modern world, right?
But it kind of has become what we do. It's not what you and I believe we should do.
Yeah.
I've had the debate very recently about hate speech laws. Trying to explain to somebody the downstream consequences of having hate speech laws. The fact that it stops us debating certain issues.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a poll if you just went out and asked people, do you think we should we have laws against hate speech? I think a very high percentage would say yes.
I don't think hate speech laws are un-British, although I don't want them. But
I don't think they're un-British. You just so yeah. You're allowed to do
laws
that.
against hate speech are not un-British.
Right?
Is that what he's saying?
Yes, he's saying putting people in jail for slurs is British.
Is British.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you do
I believe
it.
that.
I'm saying is the idea that you can't insult a religion, which is what this guy was talking about. And by the way, so when I say you're not British, that would be true of someone who was born in this country to me too. I just think those values are incompatible with this society. If you want to criminalize homosexuality, as a lot of people do in some communities, that's not a British value, I don't think. And we could go down the full list. So we have to say to anyone who comes to this country, as I once did, you come here to become one of us. If you don't want to become one of us, we completely respect that. And you're welcome to choose another country that matches your values more. But if your values don't match ours, you're not welcome. If you refuse to learn the language, you're not welcome.
Yeah, I mean, based there, but it's very telling when they're like, you have to have British values. Like, for example, celebrating homosexuality. Like that's the thing you immediately go to. It's a little bit suspect. Why James Lindsay is the same way. Why are these centrist guys always really concerned about protecting the rights of homosexuals? That's like their number one agenda item.
They are like, dude. I mean, he's obviously fine with legal immigration because he's an immigrant. You know, it's very telling what they get very passionate about. He's probably a queer.
And something that I find interesting is that If you look up the laws, in most Western countries, it was illegal to be gay until almost surprisingly recently. Out in the UK, I believe it was 1969 or maybe 67, where they made it no longer illegal to be gay. So like two consenting adults in 1965 in the privacy of their bedroom where no one could see it were committing a criminal act if they were doing gay stuff. And that's basically how it was for like 2,000 years of Britain. But because it hasn't been that way for the last like 60 years, you are not British if you think it should be that way. So people who are in Britain who are actually English and whose ancestors have been on that land for thousands of years, if you agree with your ancestors on that particular thing, you are not British. Konstantin here, the Russian Jew, is here to tell you being British means being pro-gay.
It's such an insane premise. Like the idea that fathers and sons are not opposed on so many ideologically on so many things, but they still retain the same like DNA of their country and their culture, and that you could distill this like across thousands of miles. Like someone from I'm from LA. I shared very little in common like value wise with maybe someone from Kentucky or Alabama, except for maybe one thing that makes us American. But you wouldn't be able to distill that into like a test that you could give somebody from Bombay and say like, okay, do you like let's chop off some of your hair and drop it in this solution. Okay, yeah, you're American. Come on in. Like it's much more alive. It's much more complicated than this guy's making it out to be.
If you want to impose your values on our society, like I'm from Russia. If a bunch of Russians came over and started demanding this country become more like Russia, I'd be like, what are you doing? There's no way. You didn't come here for that.
I love how vague he is there. More like Russia. What does that even mean? It's legal to be gay in Russia too. They made it legal in like 1993. This is like, I know all these years because it's one of my hobbies is looking up when did it become legal to be gay. But it's really recent in Russia. It's like 30 years.
I think there's still like sodomy laws in South Carolina. I don't know how I heard about this, but I think that's still somewhat a thing in certain towns.
Yeah, sometimes they have like old laws on the books that they just never went through the process of repealing, but it's not like anybody's actually been charged for that in like 150 years. Yeah.
Where do you see the intersection really? What is your definition of health?
Yeah, that's really complicated, right? I think I want to talk.
What was that, Dick?
Is this the fat czar from San Francisco?
Oh God, is that what it is? I don't even know.
Yeah, she's got a government position where she's like talking about that it's awesome to be fat. That's like her whole. That's all she does.
My mind is blown right now. The
I uncovered
fat
this bitch
czar.
recently in my fat watch on my show.
By the way,
niche.
I know we're over an hour now. I still do have several more clips to go through. But if you guys have to leave, like, let me know. I don't want to hold you here hostage.
Talk about that question, but I want to start by saying that, you know, no one has to be healthy. No, right? Like, I mean, it's like, no, like there is no governing body that's like out there putting, you know what I mean? It's like no one owes anybody that in either the traditional sense of the word or any other more innovative or, you know, more politicized, maybe even version of that word. So I think it's important to say like, and I want to back up and bring in intersectionality and say like, right, like look at the disabled community, right? Like I think people with disabilities have and activists within that space have consistently been saying like, I'm never going to be your notion of healthy. That doesn't mean I don't get to be a full human. You get to treat me some kind of way, right? And so I think that I love taking that principle within disability rights to fat activism and to understandings of fatness. So I want to start there, right? Like no matter what size you are, you don't owe anybody else your health. But I mean, for me, right, like in an ideal world where like in an ideal world, there wouldn't be health-based gatekeeping at all.
If those were your choice.
Health-based.
Do you ever notice it takes such a long diatribe for them to explain what they mean. It's never simple with these people. It's always an essay.
Yeah, a lot of words, very little substance.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of health-based gatekeeping in America? Like to be like a NASA astronaut or like there's certain jobs where you have to like pass a fitness test, but in general, there's not a lot of things where they're like, sorry, you're too unhealthy to do this.
No, there are, because they can't do anything. Like these, so I have Fat Watch on my show, where every time we bring in clips like that, articles, like blogs, these fat influencers have written new clothing lines. Dude, they have like a new like brand of towel for Infinifats, 6XL.
Infinifats.
They have like a whole site dedicated to fat bicycles, because there's like fat phobia on bicycles. So they have bicycles that are rated for like their gears are made out of tungsten. You know, they're rated for like horses.
Okay, but there's a difference, Dick. There's a difference between you're too fat for the bike or you're too fat to get on the plane or whatever it is, and like you're actually just not allowed to go biking or whatever. Like it's kind of a different, right? Like there's no like actual policy preventing fat people from riding bikes. They can't
want
do it.
chairs. Like if you go to the doctor's office, their chairs are slowly turning into double wide chairs. And that's what they're going for. They want every single thing in the world to be fat for them. I don't think they're going to stop until they get that. Like that's what they mean by getting
accommodations. Yeah. All right. Fat Watch sounds awesome. I got to check out your show more often.
Dude, come on.
Who shot who? Somebody got shot?
This is just some podcast where the guy accidentally shot himself in the... You're always going on the anti-woke comic book guys for pandering and...
Yeah.
But
did he buy a baby too? What was that?
I don't understand white people emulating a worse race than yourself. Like the wigger thing, I've never understood that. You know, like the ice on his teeth and whatever. Like, what?
Does anybody watch that guy who isn't like a 50-year-old housewife that just wants to be cool or sound hip?
That's a good question.
Like everybody that ever told me to go listen to Tom McDonald, has it been between the ages of 40 and 60 and is like a housewife? Every single one.
I think you nailed it. Yeah, I think you nailed it. Lily, to answer what you were saying, for us slightly older dudes who grew up like more Gen X, it's hard to really explain how hard all of that black culture was pushed on us and how it was like the way to be cool, like Dr. Dre's The Chronic and all these movies like CB4 and Boys in the Hood and stuff like that. And all the young white kids watched it were like, oh, that's so cool. It's so like I was a bit of a wigger myself.
Oh no.
Yeah. And I still got some of that wigger in me. But it's just like when you grew up in kind of like a boring suburb, like white suburb or whatever, small town Whiteville, it just seems so much more exciting to be like a gangsta and have tattoos and smoke weed or whatever. You got to be young and dumb.
Right. Slightly retarded to buy into it.
Yeah.
Before the holiday, I thought we would dip in a little bit to the voicemail because we've kind of gotten away from live calls and voicemails because, as I've said, they're mostly very low quality. The audience didn't really like them. We'll do a little Hanukkah Christmas voicemail reminder of what was in there. Here's two voicemails I found from the last couple of days. Here's the first one.
Hey, David, I have a question. Have you always looked like you have Down syndrome?
Friend.
Dude, Dave Packman kind of looks like Dave Rubin's slightly gayer cousin.
Yeah, slightly gayer. Do you guys
Dave
know
Rubin
this,
of the left.
Do you know this YouTuber, this what if alt hist guy? Have you been following this sort of? This was sort of like the subplot of the Christmas holidays. This guy is a kind of a right wing YouTuber who makes like videos about history and that. And he put out this 5-hour monologue that was like some of the most schizo shit. And it was so off the wall and unexpected. But here, I'll play you guys a little bit so you see what I'm talking about.
And she also forced me to get no vaccines as a kid, so I would play strategy games for 4 hours a day. My mother had raped me over 40 times. Oh, God. I'm just so tired of this bullshit. And my father had crippling mercury poisoning when he inseminated me. My mom was kicked in the head by a horse. God told me it was my duty to found a religion, and my school was mostly gay and Chinese people. Odin intervened in the game, and he said, "Hey kid, if you write a list of every girl you masturbate to, I will solve every issue in your life."
So he drops
Fight Club
this.
never ended for him. That's great.
Yeah, he drops this 5-hour video saying all this insane shit. Like Odin came to him and told him to start a new religion and this. Everybody is like, what the fuck is this? And he just like deletes the video and then goes back to making normal content. like nothing happened, refuses to elaborate. It's one of the most bizarre things I've seen on YouTube.
If it was a strategy for like attention or whatever, it worked. So props to him, I guess.
Let's look up. Let's watch. Face hurts. Yes! Yes! It's the music. So,
Oh my God.
What the fuck, man?
It's really hard to preserve any sense of like, I don't know, virginity in these movies anymore. Like to ignore their marketing campaigns and this kind of shit and just enjoy a movie instead of crawling out from like a pit of self-loathing when you walk into a movie, just remembering all the crap that's been circling the bowl about it for the last 6 months. It's ruined movies, this shit.
There is a little part of me that is like jealous of this guy. Like just a little part that's like, I wish I liked some easily accessible consumer bullshit that I could just, something that I can access for like $15 or whatever, but it makes me like shed tears of joy. It makes me weep in ecstasy. There's a little part of me that's like, you know yes. What? It must be kind of nice to have that.
I'm jealous of his ability to feel something like that. Like, wow, he actually feels something. The rest of us are cool and numb.
Oh, looks like we lost Alex. Maybe he'll be back. We're almost at the end here. We got like
he got run off the road by a pedo, man, like Mad Max style.
Obviously, teaser trailer, right? Proper teaser. Much more Superman than I thought we would get in that. The music. I mean, come on, they did the music.
In December, a fleeting bright spot with some prick CEO getting shot. Rich folks found it dismaying how we cheered on the slaying for a few days till Luigi got caught.
Luigi Mangione dropped. Yeah, definitely woo. You're wooing for justice, right? Luigi Mangione dropped his extradition fight and was flown from Pennsylvania to New York to face multiple charges. In related news, Bumble exploded.
It's Kind of interesting how quickly these stories go away now, right? Because this was like such a big deal that everybody was talking about, and it's almost like already memory hold. You know, like it's almost like it didn't happen.
Yeah, nobody cares anymore. They were all like up in arms trying to defend this guy who's just like some spoiled rich kid.
Spoiled rich hero, you mean?
Oh,
Innocent
yeah.
rich hero.
Innocent rich hero.
I never thought I'd ever simp for a healthcare CEO, but like their reaction to just propping up some psycho murderer had me simping for Brian Thompson, which I probably would have never ever done. But
he has a DUI, so just don't simp too hard. Put families' lives at risk.
that's
Brian
true.
Thompson.
That's true. You know, we got to bring up a DUI from 6 years ago. But if George Floyd robs a pregnant woman and commits 20 other felonies, hey man, his history don't matter, bro. It's what happened in the moment and shit, man. My God, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He did. Brian Thompson did summon an ancient demon to deny people's health care applications. Did you guys know that he found the Necronomicon in St. Nicholas's tomb when they unearthed it?
They were saying they use AI to deny a bunch of these. And it was this horrible dystopian idea that a computer is deciding who lives and who dies, and that I looked into it a little bit. And the system that they had that everybody was alluding to with those comments was an AI system that would flag people who were going to too many therapy appointments. And then once it was flagged, a human would call the doctor, the therapist, and be like, hey, what's the deal with this guy going to the therapy? And they had set so if somebody had gone to it was something like 30 appointments in 8 months or something like that, right? And then they would start denying people's coverage for therapy. And so a lot of people are like, oh, but the mental health, imagine how much damage. And as somebody who doesn't believe in therapy at all, I'm just like, really? That's it? That's it? You didn't get to go to session 31 with your shrink, and now this guy's got to die?
Well, I don't believe in therapy either, but I do believe in murder.
Und ich schlage zum Kopf.
So this is in Germany where they're not allowed to have guns, and so they're training you how to fight off a knife attacker with using a towel.
Treffe den Kopf und die Augen.
Oh, shit.
I used to hit my brothers like that, so if I go to Germany, man, I'm gonna be totally ready for all those machetes and those Muslims.
All right, I think this is the last clip, maybe.
Let's talk about something really interesting. A poll on X caused a lot of controversy when it asked people to choose between illegal Mexican immigrants and legal Indian migrants to the United States. The poll showed that 82% of the people preferred illegal immigrants from Mexico, while only 18% supported legal Indian migrants.
Yeah, no
This
shit.
sparked a heated debate online, with many people criticizing the poll for being racist and unfair. In fact, one person commented,
It's
"How is this
definitely
even a
racist."
question? Pitting one group
What are you
against
talking about?
another is actually wrong." Another one pointed out how the poll reflects deep-rooted biasness in the society. However, some users justified their votes, saying that Mexicans have long history in the United States workforce and community as well, while Indians often take up high-skilled jobs. Now, I don't know if this is a compliment
Yeah,
or not.
Mexicans don't make food with their feet. That's part of it as well.
That by the way, the guy who did that poll, he's one of my mutuals on Twitter that I've known for years, and it's so hilarious when you see something like you did it, man. You made it to the Indian news. Good job. Good. Shout out Spinach Bra. Yeah. All right. Well, that's the last clip. Yeah. I mean, it is funny, and it really does drive home how the legality issue is not really what it's really about with the immigration. It's about what kind of community are you going to have? What kind of society are you going to have? Who are the people who are going to be your neighbors? And it turns out people have preferences when it comes to those questions. But anyway, let's go through some super chats here, and then we'll call it a day. Let me check real quick. What do we got? Mike Hunt sent $5. Mike Hunt, yeah, very funny. He said, I'd like to hear the panel's view on the concept of banning pornography, especially from anyone who is a father.
I think ban it. It hurts men. Like, it hurts relationships and marriages and men's ability to go out and get girls and get married and stuff. Ban it. It's not free speech.
Yeah, exactly. I know Dick is like a libertarian when it comes to shit like this, so he's not gonna want to make it illegal. But I'm with you, Lily. I think it is terrible for society. And as a father, when you look at the statistics and the data, the average American kid is exposed to pornography at like age 11.
Right.
And some of them are seeing it at like 8 years old. You hear a statistic like that, and you should be like grabbing your pitchfork, and looking for who is the next CEO who needs to die to make it like it's an insane statistic. And so I have strong feelings about it.
LP, I don't know if you know this, but I'm about to be a father.
I did. Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy about it. So basically, my opinion now is equal to yours in this, or almost equal. I
they
can
cancel each other out
now.
Damn.
Yeah, if you want to preserve marriages and help men and stuff, that's I'm open to banning pornography, but you got to ban women from BMIs over like 23. As soon as you guys can all fit through the door or get in a car without the car going, then we can ban pornography. But until then,
so what you're saying, the fat czar who we were watching earlier, she's like, there's no laws that say you have to be healthy or whatever. And you're like, yes, that's the problem.
Yeah. Make it a law. I mean, sometimes like pornography for a lot of guys is the only time they're going to see a woman, what one is supposed to look like. So I don't want to take that away from them.
No, porn definitely needs to be banned. It's so evil. So many of these pedos that we get. I'm not saying porn is the reason they're pedophiles. I think they're like that anyway. But I mean, it definitely enables and it makes their delusions and their attractions go further and further. It's like a snowball effect. And obviously, it really just does make people losers. I mean, I don't know why people are okay with being an online cuckold. I mean, they're watching two people have sex just from a distance. I mean, it's cuckolding to me. And I would for sure ban. I used to be libertarian too, but doing this for 5 years, traveling the country and just seeing like how dumb people are, yeah, absolutely the fuck not. We can't trust people with too much freedom, honestly, like with that stuff. So I think it needs to be banned.
Well, and even with like kids being exposed to it so young, like if getting molested as a child will totally fuck your brain up and it can make you a psychopath or whatever, like what effect does watching porn have as a young child when you're not supposed to be seeing that stuff? Like it's got to have some psychological damage on like little kids who are exposed to it.
Yeah, I bet it probably does. I mean, absolutely. I know anecdotally, I used to watch porn until I was 17 years old, and I stopped watching it. And then that next day, I finally had the nuts to go just talk to this girl who ended up being my girlfriend for a little bit. And it really it's just a night and day difference because it really, 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 really does warp your mind. It's fucked up shit. And it could definitely lead a kid into curiosity and think it's okay to just talk to an adult, send nudes to an adult as if it is normal. So I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Serving Cowboy sent $5. He says, Juju the cow not cackling like Clinton on coke, shocked and awe.
That's me, cackling like Clinton. Oh,
okay. I don't know the deep lore on that one.
You don't want to.
Okay. Mike Hunt sent $2. Wasn't Elon forced to buy Twitter by the court? Yeah, he was actually, because he had basically started the deal and he tried to back out of it because he decided it was too expensive at $56 billion. And the Twitter board sued him to be like, no, you can't back out of this deal. And the court sided with them and he was forced to buy Twitter. That's all true. Doesn't mean that he didn't have some good intentions in doing it all, though. You guys have anything to add to that, or no?
Do y'all actually trust Elon Musk at all, though?
No.
Trust is too strong of a word, but I think it's possible he could be a net positive. I'm agnostic about the possibility that he may be an overall force for good, but I wouldn't say I trust him.
Yeah, no, I think him and Trump are very obviously some anti-Christ-like figures. I think it all falls into place with him running Twitter. I think it is going to end up turning into some social credit score thing. And there's a reason why they let the election go the way it did. I mean, it's not like anything changed from 2020 when they obviously rigged it. I mean, I think Trump and Musk are going to lead us into some very, very dark times. So I don't know. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't
What
think
does
I
a
am.
dark time look like? What is a dark?
Well,
economically or worse?
I mean, I think economically it's going to be great for like the first 2 years, but I do think the importation of Jeets is basically what I think is that it's going to be kind of like Biden a little bit, like or whatever the Democrats are. But what Trump can get away with that Democrats can't is pushing shit like vaccines and pushing shit like, high skilled immigration. Like if Biden did any of the things that Trump is doing now, or at least is saying is going to be done, like with the H-1B visas and, even annexing Greenland, people would be saying, this is the New World Order, this is our replacement, blah, 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 blah. When Trump does it, it's all fine and dandy, and I think that's why they let Trump win this election.
All right. I don't know if you were trying to say something there, Dick. You kind of cut out, but.
Oh, no. I was burping off the mic.
$2
All the
from
fires have made me really crave liquor. Yeah.
$2 from Mike Hunt. He says, you can't say red pill until you watch The Matrix. Oh, so that's for you, Lily. Yeah, you don't even understand the red pill meme. You're just a poser, a LARPer.
I know, I'm LARPing. I will see it. I'll see it tonight.
Another $5 from Mike Hunt. Thank you, Mike Hunt, for all the support. We love Mike Hunt. Dick, why come you didn't go on the Hard Man Working Hard podcast for Christmas? I thought it was a tradition.
They didn't ask me. I forgot. Yeah, it is a tradition.
I didn't even know there was a Hard Man Working Hard podcast.
They make great music.
They have a few songs that I really like. Yeah.
Yeah. They got a new one too, I think.
Nice.
Check it out.
All right. Deadpool Kid sent $5. He said, it's a crime for fat people to be showing so much skin. I'm a chungus, but I'm covered up, so nothing is showing. No underbelly, no ass, chest, or side boobs.
This is true.
Yeah.
I used to work on the beach, and these women who wore the smallest bikinis were always the largest women. Like the fat would engulf, like overlap the bikini, so it was basically non-existent. So it was like looking at a naked fat person. Disgusting.
Yeah. Drunken Atheist Studio sent $5. He says, sup LP, did you know I edit videos for Dick's other show, The Biggest Problem in the Universe, live on YouTube Fridays, 6 p.m. PST, LOL. I did not know that, but that's cool, man. Me and Chris Holowicki go way back. I've been knowing that guy for forever.
Oh, that's cool.
Makes
good edits.
Checking Rumble and Odyssey. I think that's it. Let me check Power Chat real quick. And Entropy. Yeah, I think that's it. So that's basically it. That's the show. I'm so glad you guys all showed up. It was really fun. I was worried, like Alex, I didn't hear from you all day, and then I saw you were doing a bus. I was like, oh man, he's not going to make it. I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you went the extra mile there, coming in live from the phone, or from the drive rather. So, I mean, that's basically it. So we always end on plugs. You guys can tell people where to find you or what to look for. I did put links in the description to everybody's like Twitter and YouTube or whatever. Alex, I couldn't find your YouTube, but I think there was like a...
Yeah, well, I
Predator
technically own no
Poachers
YouTube
Texas.
channel, so like, any channel with a person who looks like me under the name Predator Poachers may or may not be me, and it's totally coincidental, but it's probably a good channel, so go sub to it.
Okay, yeah, I linked Predator Poachers Texas in the description.
Yeah.
That's not
that's
you.
a great channel. That's,
okay.
That's one of my twins who has that channel. So I mean, he's
Gotcha.
a really great guy. Goes up to him.
Cool. All right,
Alex,
well,
have
Lilly,
you seen the newly
you're
ped
at-
game guy? The guy who does a game show. He does a game show with pedo hunting, where he'll lure pedophiles out, and then he'll do a game show with them. He tells them that he's going to let them go if they can answer 3 questions. You never seen this guy?
Who, Colin?
Yeah. Have you seen that? His show?
Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah.
Do you like that, or is that like not?
I mean, I'd rather him like try to get them arrested, but I do like Colin as a person. You know, me and him are tight. Well, not tight, but
I
we're
think
cool
he
with each
does.
other.
I think he does anyway, but like I think he always reports him. But the game is just really funny.
Yeah, no, I've seen some of his reels. It is good.
Cool. All right, Lilly, you're on top of the stack here, so why don't you go first? Let everybody know where to find you.
Yeah, I'm on X. Just type in Lilly, you'll find it. And then basically I have everything linked on there. Yeah, that's about it. I'm on YouTube too, but like I say, all my links are in the extended bio of my X, so just follow that.
And you're on Censored TV, right? Shout
Yeah.
out.
Sorry, I almost forgot. Gavin will be mad at me.
Yeah.
Yes, Censored.tv, code Lilly for 20% off. Go subscribe there because I can't say most of what I want to say on any platform. So, but I can say whatever I want on Censored. So,
Yeah.
shout out Censored.tv.
Is that pretty much your only like main video platform, or are you on like you said you're on YouTube or you are?
Yes, surprisingly, I am still on YouTube. It's just a matter of time before we're off. But YouTube, Rumble, X, and Censored.
Cool. Yeah. Hey man, I'm on YouTube too. As long as you learn how to thread the needle, you can survive on this platform. You just got to know. You got to know the rules inside and out.
That's what I'm trying to learn.
All right, Dick Masterson. What
Yeah, I
should
take
people
that
look for?
personally. Actually, I'm not on YouTube. Get me on Patreon.com/The Dick Show. I'm having a kid, so I need the money. I'm having a kid and I have cancer.
Do you know if it's a boy or a girl?
No, the baby's mom took a gender test, but I was making fun of it, so she won't tell me what it was one of those. It's called Sneak Peek, and it's like a 90% gender test or something. So I don't know, but
And I'm sorry, did you just say you have cancer?
Yeah, but that's just like showbiz cancer.
Oh,
like boogies. It's
oh,
not real.
okay, yeah,
I
like
just
Mr.
need it
Medicare.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I hope that's a joke, man.
Yeah, no, it's a joke.
Okay.
Or maybe I don't know. I don't like the doctor.
knows?
And then I have a show, The Biggest Problem in the Universe, on Friday, where with Vito and I, Vito's probably going to be on your show one day, Alex. So go easy on him if you ever.
So I've heard.
If you ever see a guy who's about 300 pounds and wearing an ironic hat, that's Vito. Just take it easy on him. He probably didn't.
All right.
He probably actually was trying to buy a vintage Game Boy Advance from a little boy. He probably really was just trying to sweeten him up to get a good deal. But that's The Biggest Problem in the Universe. Check that out on YouTube every Friday. Thanks, guys.
And last but certainly not least, Mr. Alex Rosen. Where do people find your stuff?
Well, you can find someone who looks exactly like me and talks exactly like me, and may or may not be somebody else posting my videos on YouTube under the name Predator Poachers in PP Southeast Texas. Okay, I personally do not own any YouTube channels. None are in my name. I'm just putting that out there. Okay. And you can find me on Instagram, I Fight for Kids V2. And you can find me on X. Just go to any Indian account over 10K followers, and I'll be in their quote tweet. And so find me on all those places, buddies.
Oh, shit. Good stuff. All right. Well, big thank you to all my guests. Thank you to everybody for watching the show tonight, and for the people who sent in the super chats. Really appreciate the support. You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a great night, and we'll catch you later. Peace out.
See you guys.
Thank you all.
Bye.